funny titles for us this time.
Oh, I didn't think of any either.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we can think of some while this is going on.
I don't know if my ratios are going to be right with this new cup here.
I changed my mug, so I don't know if I know how to measure no more.
I just did the 1, 2, 3 free pour, but you know how we is in a free pour state. We ain't in no free
You're
pour
definitely
state.
not in a free pour state.
I'm in a metered pour state. But let's see if I can get a whole beverage up in this mug. Oh no, I cannot.
O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
I cannot.
Yeah.
These first couple drinks are gonna be real heavy, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean, sometimes that happens.
Hello, everybody out there in the world, in the galaxy. If you happen to be an intergalactic species coming across radio and other broadcast frequencies from Earth, I, as Josh, wish to thank you for sifting through all of the Earth noise and finding our channel. We hope that English as a language that's spoken here on Earth is translating well for you. And we hope that we are able to introduce you to the greatest story ever told. And by that, I mean the Wheel of Time book series. Those have been broadcasted enough that you should be able to locate those as well. Yeah. And hopefully by this time we will either have evolved and are better than we are now, or maybe it's just best that we wiped ourselves out by now. I don't know. I can't see the future, but I hope you enjoy what we're about to do.
Sometimes I wake up and think the same thing.
Some days I wake up and wish for growth and evolution and enlightenment, and others I just you know what? Maybe we just don't deserve to make it.
Other days I wake up and just wish for that big mushroom cloud of light on the horizon. Let's just go ahead and reset.
May the light at the end of the tunnel not be a mushroom cloud. I had one the other day. What did I say the other day? Oh, I had one the other day. I said, may the light at the end of the tunnel not be the flame on the lighter at the end of your crack pipe.
That's a good one.
So that's a good one. But anyway, I am Josh. I am the Soravan Mahale of the Black Tower podcast. And I'm here to discuss the Wheel of Time with you.
And I'm Andrew. I'm your Bajan Mahale. This may come as a surprise, but I'm also here to discuss the Wheel of Time with you.
Wait, what?
I'm also here to be confused by now the second week in a row that during active recording, Restream is like, we're not going to show you the little light around your fucking icon to show that we can hear your microphone.
It's so weird because I can see it light up on mine and I can see it light up on yours when you talk. Yeah, but you can't see it light up on yours. That's so funny.
Yeah, it just doesn't do it to mine. I mean, I can see my microphone, like the Scarlet box, light up whenever I talk. So, and you obviously hear me, so we're good there. But whatever, as long as it works, which is the motto of the Black Tower podcast. As long as it works,
you know what? It worked. Don't question it. Don't touch it. Oh. It worked.
We finally got the duct tape just the way we like it, so don't fucking touch it.
I would like to shout out a hearty congratulations to our Athan Mahale Aes Sedai, who is not here this week because she is currently in a co-bonding ceremony with her warder. And please leave a comment down below saying congratulations to Reese. Please pass the congratulations on in our Discord or on our socials. Let her know that we really support her and that we're proud of her and we wish them the best. So, Reese, this is to you, and we hope you're having a fantastic time, and I can't wait to hear all about it in our pre-recording next week.
Salute, and we cannot wait to hear the hilarious details of that honeymoon or
event,
the first morning or whatever. That helmet came in handy. Bro, those spikes on that helmet are gonna be dull.
Can you say
batteries
that?
came out of the helmet?
Can you say that?
I mean, depending on what you're into, I mean, it's good. It's good for the goose, good for the gander. I mean, you said you had protection. I was wearing my helmet.
Or what's the other one? Hey, Goku, you want to go upstairs? Why? Who's up there? Did you bring protection?
Yeah, protection.
Why? Who's up there? Is he strong?
Yeah. Oh
God.
Oh, man.
But sincerely, congratulations. We wish you guys the best and hope that you had a fantastic week. So, sláinte.
Respawn.
And if
what is that high school habit of like just merging people's names because people thought it was cute and it was just
the celebrity
cringe.
names? Yeah.
Oh, people would just do it to everybody.
Dace. Or I guess Riemann would be cool too.
If you're a Digimon fan, like Respawn is pretty good.
That's true too. Respawn.
Respawn Digivolve too.
More.
I don't know if you said this, but like it glitched out for me and just said Respawn Digivolves into Remon, and I'm like, what? No, no.
Re.
We all have those mornings,
especially
after our helmet spikes get flattened.
I hate it when my helmet spikes get flattened.
Don't you just hate it when that happens? Oh man, I'm sure they're having a fantastic time. I hope they are because they deserve it. They're fantastic.
They are fantastic people, and they deserve all the happiness, love, magic, and fantasticness that life has to give.
Now that we've appealed to your emotions and saying that people deserve things and all, you know what you deserve? To check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Black Tower Pod, where you can get access to all kinds of stuff. And I swear, I haven't forgotten about sending out stickers and stuff. I'm just an absolute shit person at doing it. It's been an absolutely wild year.
Dude, it has been.
But you get stickers.
Patreon is a really fun place to be.
Yeah, you get stickers and some free merch. You get early episode access when we're on our normal recording schedule. We try to get it out as early as we can. We're kind of behind right now on a lot of stuff. Exclusive pre-recordings, and there's some private or exclusive, whatever you want to call them, Discord channels and post-show chatting that you are able to enjoy if you so desire. So I know a couple months ago, we were so behind on stickers and I felt so bad. I basically just, everybody that was a patron, I took every sticker we've ever had, put them in packs and sent them out to everybody so that everybody got every sticker possible.
Which was pretty cool of you, by the way.
We got to find one because I think not that one, but one before that, I think somebody's got sent back.
Oh no.
They should have got everything now. Nobody's come yelling at me yet, which is normally my indicator that like something's wrong. So
what the
I appreciate that part. But and I know we need to get some more sticker designs done and up and ready.
Yeah,
we
that's
also
true.
Need to get some more like merch designs up and ready and all that kind of fun stuff. All that crazy stuff. And all of that helps. Ultimately, the biggest thing that the Patreon ultimately helps go towards these days is Gathering Madness. Right. We're working on getting the results of the survey coalesced together, and there was a lot of responses, a lot of enthusiasm for it.
I think this is the most responses we've ever had.
Yeah, I know it's not the latest numbers because still trying to get that information together, but I think there was one where we had like the last physical like image of it I've seen was like 24 responses, and an overwhelming majority was looking at coming in person. So
yeah,
which is the most fun way to come. So yeah, that's a joke I've made. So so there's that. But the Patreon really goes a long way in helping us make sure that happens and get that together. So greatly appreciate you guys for that. And we love you, and you know we sincerely do really appreciate you and the support that you give us. It's definitely not expected, and it's greatly appreciated. That being said, spoiler warning. There we go. My brain was just like, hey, let's choose this exact moment to like just
Don't
pause.
You just love that? I love that.
Yeah. Let's get you guys spoiler warned for this episode,
because we're gonna have some spoilers.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to this one. Here you go. Here's your spoiler warning by way of the registered nerd.
This is your Black Tower podcast, Wheel of Time spoiler warning. There are neither beginnings nor endings to spoilers, but this is a beginning. If you continue to listen, you may be cursed with the knowledge yet to come. These curses may include knowledge that you are, in fact, just a farm boy. Drinking one glass of wine now leads to mustache pulling and a hell of a hangover. Resigning that you will never be as good with the ladies as your friends are. Realizing Androl is bae, regardless of your gender or sexual orientation. The inability to stop tugging your braid in anger, even if you don't have hair. An understanding that the word taint is simultaneously a noun, adjective, and verb. Discovering you have more titles than actual name. The BDE, also known as Big Dragon Energy, becomes undeniable. Finding yourself promising to read A New Spring and never getting to it. An uncontrollable urge to argue over inconsistent pronunciations. Knowing that hating Gon is a responsibility, not a privilege. Again, there are no beginnings or endings to spoilers, but this is a beginning. You have been warned.
Every time I hear BDE or Big Dragon Energy, I think, oh, that's a solid merch idea. And then I remember Critter already did it.
Yeah.
Dang you, Critter! How dare you be talented and beautiful? It's not fair.
And we don't really fuck with Critter's merch because she's got that legal backing to really fuck us up.
Look, I was a partner of hers when we put Gawain on trial at WatCon one year, and
like, where's
she's scary. She's a scary prosecutor, yo. Don't mess with her. She has a no holds barred prosecution technique.
No holds barred. I have to pass a bar.
Ayo. I went there.
Josh,
that's totally the joke I made.
If you could channel Saidar, and you had to spend the rest of your life with only one group. If you could, and you had to spend the rest of your life on this here Creator's good green earth with only one group. All right, the Aes Sedai, the wise ones, or them there Windfinders out there on the ocean and all finding the wind on the ocean. Which one you choosing?
Oh, that's a tough question, Andrew, and I'm glad you asked it because I do need to shout out real quick because as most people know, we're discussing organizations of Saidar channeling goodness. And there are two groups that you may notice are absent. Actually, there are three that you may notice are absent. The first one are the Iad. First of all, fuck them. No. They are no. We're not doing that. It's not cool. They are little better than Damane, which is our second group of no, fuck that. We're not doing that. We're not going there. Nobody wants to be a part of that without some severe cultural bias and abuse. The third group that is not mentioned on here is the kin, and let's just face it, especially fourth age kin, they're under the White Tower. They're under the White Tower with the Aes Sedai, so just don't. Okay? So when it comes to the three organizations of people channeling Saidar, which one would I be? A Windfinder, a Wise One, or an Aes Sedai? Okay, look. I know exactly what my answer is, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the way in which Saidar is revered. It has everything to do with like the amount of freedom, for the lack of a better way to say it. And I would 100% be a Windfinder.
Really?
100% would be a Windfinder, would live out on the salty sea brine and totally go pirating. Me and the boys would be pirates. We would have letters of marque from the king of Tyr, and we would prey on those Illianer bastards all day and all night, and it would be glorious.
Well, I mean, you don't need them because you'd be part of the sea folk. But yeah, fair enough.
But no,
all I can think of is like, oh god, this is gonna sound really, really fucking bad. Initial explanation. That old, it's not a super old, but it's one that movie that everybody uses the footage from where It's a certain leader from World War II in his bunker yelling at his generals. And there was like a fucking viral trend years and years and years ago of people dubbing over it for different reasons. And somebody did it for like the conflict between the Clemson Tigers and the University of South Carolina Gamecocks. And at the time, Steve Spurrier was still the coach for the Gamecocks, and one of the lines they used was as that certain leader was ranting was, meanwhile Spurrier's out there at the beach with his man titties flopping in the breeze.
Wait.
And that's what I thought of with the fucking Windfinder just being there, just flopping out in the breeze. It's a really weird mental connection that my brain just jumped through hoops to make.
My man titties would absolutely be flopping in the wind.
Oh man.
No, there's no freedom like that. Not anywhere in this.
No freedom like man titties flopping in the breeze on a boat. Tell you what. Y'all, tonight we're settling one of the most important questions in the Wheel of Time. Who actually wore Saidar the best?
Who did it?
Not who's the strongest, not who's our favorite, but who wore it the best?
Who has the best relationship?
Got the most out of their female channelers?
Bam. Who did it?
Who did it?
And I will say this.
Freedom, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, surely we're both about to agree on the wise ones because of the freedom of access and freedom of mobility. And then you said Windfinders, and I was like, disagreement.
We never do
Sacrilege. Blasphemy.
So here, let me just give you my ranking in order. Like, right, and we can break it down, and you can give me your ranking, and we can break it down. So my number one spot is Windfinders, right? And like I said, I feel like Windfinders are respected. Windfinders propel their people they provide necessary services to their ship and their people. Like I said, they're respected, they're trusted. They're not, they don't have a timid, tense, or scared relationship with women who can channel with the sea folk. And I think that, to me, if I'm a Windfinder in a society that not only respects me, but also values my contributions and also gives me responsibilities to live up to, that to me is, I think, peak when it comes to a sort of demographic positioning. Second place is the wise ones, because I believe that you are correct. They do. They have the freedom. They have there's nobody in the IEL waste is going, she can channel. Ew. But the reason the reason why they took second place instead of first place is that channeling is not something that is revered at all in the IEL waste. If you can channel, that's like a bonus. It's like saying you're a really good cook. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. No, it's not. It's something that's ridiculously special. And I feel like IEL don't really give enough weight to the ability to channel. My third choice is the Aes Sedai, the White Tower. And while I appreciate the stringent training regimen, the strict standards of conduct and behavior, blah, blah, blah. While I respect that, what we see is not an organization that respects themselves well enough to hold themselves to those standards of behavior. They are an organization that holds that standard of behavior for trainees, for those that are coming up the ranks. But as soon as you make the rank of Aes Sedai, now you can do whatever the hell you want. You can be a scheming, backstabbing person, and everybody's just like, yeah, that's just part of it. And as a result, now you're bound by the 3 oaths. And even with the 3 oaths, nobody trusts you. Very few people like you. The best you can hope for is that people in the Borderlands respect you, but only because they hope you'll lend a hand when Shadowspawn attack. So that's sort of my ranking.
This is it's going to make for an interesting episode for at least two reasons. One, because our ranking is different, and two, I'm actually putting one of the organizations that I love to shit on the most as the number one.
Wow.
So in this, I'm actually putting Windfinder of the three. I'm putting Windfinders in last place because they're exceptionally talented at what they do. They're also pigeonholed into what they do. You need to throw wind behind sails to get somewhere fast. There's no one better. You need them to do anything else. Good luck. It's the epitome of like a one-trick pony kind of thing. And they hide themselves from the world. They're terrified of the Aes Sedai finding out that they can even use the one power, to the point where they have a policy of not granting passage to Aes Sedai. So they're already inherently fearful of another contender on this three organization list because of the policies of that other organization. And I do think their fear is justified, because it's kind of like in the same vein of like, I don't want the Jehovah Witnesses to know that I'm home, because I don't want them knocking on my door and harassing me, or the any kind of like people that come to your door and knock on them, like door-to-door salesmen of anything, be it solar panels or pest control or internet service or religious service. You don't want anybody coming to your door. And the Windfinders are pretty much like, we just don't want you on our boat. But also they're very pigeonholed. They're incredibly good at the one task, but if you also ever only train and you do one thing, you should be fucking good at it. Like, if the only thing you ever do is turn a screw, you should be really good at turning that screw.
Oh, you're not wrong there.
I agree at number 2 being the wise ones. The channeling element of the wise ones, because of course not all, again, this goes without saying, not all wise ones can channel. The wise ones, themselves just function as a spiritual leaders kind of the IEO. And it's more common for them to be dreamwalkers than it is channelers. But of those that are the wise ones that can channel, they have a lot of freedom to kind of learn and do different things with the one power. They learn a lot of utility weaves. They learn a lot of bolstering weaves. They learn a lot of combat weaves from each other. And they're pretty effective at it, but there's not, like Josh said, there's not a lot of emphasis on it. There's not a lot of focus on it. It's a lot still of IO first, which isn't bad. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like prioritizing your cultural identity over your channeler identity. Nothing wrong with that.
Sure. And I want to say I didn't.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's not.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. And I'm not saying like Josh wasn't saying that this is a bad thing, but there, to any decision there are going to be consequences, and a consequence of not focusing on the channeling aspect that you have is that in comparison to people that do focus exclusively on that, you're going to be underdeveloped. If somebody focuses on a skill of computers and fixing computers, and then somebody else just uses computers passively but focuses on fixing aircraft, well, now the person that can fix a computer can come and fix your computer for the guy that works on aircraft, but as soon as he can't log in, he's screwed. Like, he can help an aircraft fly, which is incredible. Right. But the second he goes to log into his computer and it says credentials cannot be verified, the dude's like, what the fuck do I do? Like,
what do I do now?
I bend sheet metal and make connections in an aircraft to make a hunk of metal fly through the sky like a bird. It's an incredible feat. And like, yeah, it is. But you don't work on computers. I do. I can't make shit fly through the sky, but I can fix the fact that you can't log into your computer.
Password.
Yeah. I can fix your computer so you can log in and clock your hours for the day so you get paid. Like, it's shit like that. And that's kind of how the wise ones are. Like, the learning the one power is kind of more of a need and a passively trained kind of thing. It's more of it's not necessarily casual, because there's a bit more of an import to it to them, than casual because they know they have a limited number of wise ones that can channel, but it's not really a focus. But because they do a broader spectrum of stuff with it, they're not pigeonholed into one task. They're far more effective at doing multiple things. And so with that and those arguments that I've made, as much as I love to shit on the organization of the Aes Sedai in the Third Age, I have to put the Aes Sedai at the top because all of the things that I've argued that make the Wise Ones and the Windfinders lower in the ranking are the things that the Aes Sedai don't do. Like, they have a wide focus on channeling. They've tried to focus on a utilitarian aspect of channeling and make it a broad focus, not just pigeonholing into one or two aspects of it. You can later on in your training, but you have to have like a more generalized, wide understanding of being able to use the one power.
It's literally like college, and then you can specify. Oh,
yeah,
and you can specify for your degree, right?
Yeah, they have gen ed because like you may not be a member of the Yellow Aja, but you have an understanding. Like Moraine knows how to delve people to see if they're hurt.
Right.
That's not a blue Aja thing.
Delving and healing is kind of like a basic. Everybody needs to know the basics.
Yeah, I mean, some people just can't do it, but you know they have a some degree of understanding of how it works and that it's important, that it exists, and it gets you to somebody that can do it well or whatever. And then they focus on it, so those aspects of it that actually are strong amongst them, get as accentuated as possible.
Well, and this is where
I'm in a weird aspect where I have to argue Aes Sedai being the best of the organizations we have. I mean, because to me they're the most wide-reaching. They have the most variety. I mean, they're also the largest in number, presumably. I think.
Presumably, yeah.
But
they definitely are at the end of the series after Egwene not only folds in the kin, but has had her massive recruitment campaign across the literal world. Like, they definitely are the largest.
Also, keep in mind, kind of at the beginning of this, you went ahead and folded the kin in with the Aes Sedai under the White Tower.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, with the kin and with all the people that she recruited coming across the world back to the White Tower, like, in the beginning, you can make the argument that they weren't the largest, but at the end of the series, they definitely were the largest organization. And honestly, you bring up a good point, right? Where the Aes Sedai are probably the most capable or the most well-rounded characters, right? They've got a very wide general knowledge. Delving deeper and deeper down into the Wavefinders, which are just they're essentially min-maxed characters, right? They put all their experience into one thing with, water and air, and it's like, cool, let's go. So yeah, I mean, in that aspect, you're not entirely wrong there. That's an interesting piece of that I hadn't considered up until this point, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like, imagine me being the one sitting there being like, no, the Aes Sedai are number one. Like, there's a part of my psyche that's like, what are you doing? Like, and as we were like looking at doing this, and it's like, is there a reason to not have the Aes Sedai as number one? And I can't think of it. I mean,
especially where you have Aes Sedai.
I think they also have the most problems within themselves as an organization that uses Saidar, but still, like,
the bigger the organization, the more the
somebody
problems,
that can do something. Yeah, but whenever you need to find somebody that can do something with Saidar, and you're like, okay, well, it's not throwing wind in the sails of a ship, so the Windfinders are out.
Well, then the Wavefinders didn't even know how to link, right? The Wavefinders and the Aiel didn't even know how to link until they were taught by the White Tower.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean,
so
the Aiel, I could take it as like a 50-50 thing. I could see that as like a different like clan or sept secret or something like that, even though the Wise Ones are supposed to be for the Aiel entirely, not just for clan or sept or whatever.
But that therein lies the other thing, right? You've got, and again, the Aes Sedai towards the end of the story, the Aes Sedai have walls and they've got secrets and they've got blah blah blah. But they're like the they're like the American intelligence organizations, right? Like the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, and the Homeland Security. They're all like different Ajas. They don't like to share information, but they will if they have to. But they don't like to. So unless they're forced to, they won't share information. They keep secrets. They keep, blah, 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 blah. But where the Aes Sedai, I think, really succeed in terms of their relationship with Saidar, so they have people whose job it is to study Saidar. Like, that's all they do all day, every day. I'm studying Saidar. I need to understand Saidar a little bit better. It's almost like the Jedi Consular, right? My whole job, I'm supported by the Jedi Order in the Jedi Temple to study the Force. And that's all I do all day, every day. I meditate, I study the Force. I figure out that the Aiel don't have that. The Aiel don't have people whose job it is to sit down and study Saidar, because their job is a wise one first. And if Saidar can help with their wise one capabilities, great. But it's not anything. It's not a more important tool in their toolbox than anything else.
And Sorlia, they chastise Egwene frequently on her, and they reference it as an overall Aes Sedai tendency to rely too heavily on power to do things, especially simple things that could be done without it. And I mean, again, like for me, the biggest thing with the wise ones is they do so much to avoid conflict with the Aes Sedai, like just to avoid the even chance that the Aes Sedai will come and look for channelers amongst them. They periodically send weak to mid-grade channelers from the Seafolk populace to the Aes Sedai. And then of the Brown Aja sisters that become the custodians for the 13th depository, a fair chunk, if not the majority of them, wind up being Seafolk, so that they can safeguard the knowledge that the Seafolk produce channelers, so that the Aes Sedai don't come and take away all of the Windfinders, which is a massive political, like socio-political economic move, because one of the big things that everybody loves about the Seafolk is how fast and efficient and affordable their trade is.
Yeah.
They know that if you take and sell goods to the Seafolk, or you buy goods from the Seafolk, that they wind up being fresher than buying them from anybody else. And they're like, you guys are just so good at sailing, you move faster than anybody else, and nobody else can figure it out the way you guys do. And it's because they're using hacks. They have Windfinders that are literally just channeling, air into the sails.
Which then again goes into the aspect of Windfinders that I hadn't considered up until this point, and that is they literally are min-maxing characters. So if I am, say I'm someone like Egwene who has a particular talent with Earth, okay, am I going to be as successful of a Windfinder versus the person who has a particular talent with wind or with air or water? So now we've got some dynamics there because a min-max character does rely heavily on base stats. We're going to get into like some RPG character notes here. It does rely on base stats, right? And your base stats serve as a foundation for if you're a min-max character, your base stats is going to give you a foundation upon which to build. And if I am a character that has a foundational initial stat in strength, right? If I've got a natural affinity for strength and my strength is 5 and my intelligence is 1 and my charisma is 1, it makes no sense for me to min-max as a bard, right? It makes no sense for me to min-max as a sorcerer. If I have a natural talent or affinity for strength, it makes sense for me to min-max as a barbarian or as a fighter or as a monk. So, maybe that's something that Windfinders have, an additional sort of hurdle to overcome. We don't know. We don't ever really discuss talents with anyone else except the White Tower. because of that very fact, right? Because the Windfinders have one job: make ship go fast. The Aiel, while they also have a diverse understanding of channeling, still only have one job: wise one. I'm a wise one first. I'm a mother second. I'm a roof mistress third. I'm a channeler fourth, right? They just don't put it's a handy tool to have. It's not anything, which is why someone like Savannah can rise to power and order people around when she can't channel. And
but she's not even officially a wise one. She's like a de facto wise one.
Yeah. And so because of the cultural intricacies and
what I mean, like,
what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Nuances?
Yeah, like the social nuance. She's able to sort of rise to power over people who can channel. And I get what the Aiel want to say, right? They want to say, just because you can channel, just because you have a hammer and I don't, it doesn't mean you're any better than me as a craftsman. It just means you have a different tool, therefore a different skill set.
It's the same like concepts and structure and mentality that makes Rand the Karakarn, the chief of chiefs, but also not somebody that can tell everybody else what to do, which is like, bumfuck confusing to everybody else, because it's like, wait, I'm the chief of all chiefs who are your leaders, but I also can't just tell you what to do. Like,
yeah,
what? Fucking, it makes no fucking sense. Like, it's like saying like, oh, that is the king of kings, but we don't have to listen to him. Excuse me?
The king of kings, but you're actually not a king, so fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're just a chief, but you're not a king. And it's like, okay, then how do you become an IO king? Well, we don't have kings. And it's like, none of this makes any sense. But I mean, like, everybody has like their standout moments. Like the excuse me. Like the Windfinders becoming critical for using the Bowl of the Winds, because they have like a very unique understanding and mastery over using the one power to affect weather and weather patterns, right? To have favorable conditions for sailing as much as they can, and have favorable winds for sailing. And there's not like a better group you could ask for. Like the Aes Sedai couldn't have done that. The wise ones couldn't have done that other than providing power for it. Like only the Windfinders could have done that. And it's like, yes, that's a notable achievement. However, it also reinforces the aspect that you're a unique specialist, not a generalist in that sense. Like you're again pigeonholed into a very specific set of skills that, while very important and very impressive, asking somebody to help you affect the weather with a Terran Grial and you doing it is very different than being like, okay, cool, now we've got to go like save an entire nation and we need you to use battle weaves to call down lightning and fire on our enemies. And now the Windfinders are like, we can hit them with a strong breeze. We can hit them with strong gust of wind. We can make it cloudy and rainy. Like it's not the same thing. We can make the conditions favorable for lightning, but maybe even use lightning a bit, but it's just not something like that's in their repertoire. And I'm actually kind of impressed at how much of the wise ones have these abilities, and it seems like it's more so because they wind up being forced to learn it through active combat and being around like the Aes Sedai using it and responding to Savannah's the Shido wise ones having learned it and using it than anything else, because the wise ones don't strike me as a group that have been using these far outreaching kind of combat weaves for decades. They haven't been using actively offensive weaves. Like they have defensive stuff where they defend themselves if they happen to be around combat, and that's kind of their built-in thing. Like we can defend ourselves and we can be a part of the combat, but we don't really have these outreaching super offensive capabilities, because that's not the function of a wise one. The function of a wise one isn't to wage war. The function of a wise one is to maintain the teachings and the cultural legacy and normalcy of the Aiel, and to be kind of like the moral and governing center of the Aiel culture as a whole, regardless of clan, scepter, or creed. And it's only as a reaction to like Savannah's wise ones like slinging lightning that they're like, oh, well, yeah, that's really easy to see how to do. let me force lightning back at you. Like, because
I'm
they're really
kinda
good, they're really
wondering-
talented. They could learn an incredible amount. It's just they never need to, and because of that, it's not a focus of theirs.
I'm kind of wondering here too. Now, as we're discussing, like, are the IL Wise One? I don't think we can call them a channeling organization.
I mean,
They
I would
are.
agree.
They are a
I think we're just-
leadership organization who have
they're
women
kind of
who
the
can
women's
channel.
circle of the IEL.
Yeah. Which
Without
once again,
all the weird Mansfield women's circle versus the village council dynamic that Robert Jordan built in to just be like, meh.
They kind of have that though with with the clan chiefs.
I mean, they're not really, because like there's a little bit of it, but it seems to be, to me, a bit more like playful pushing, whereas like in a Mansfield it's more like, well, we're doing all the real work. No, we're doing all the real work. And it's like, you're both doing fuck all.
Well,
you pushed the girl off of a cliff into a river and said that she's now a woman. What the fuck is that?
Well, that was the TV show.
I mean, yeah. We don't have any proof that that's what happened in the books, but I kind of now like to think that that's like, here, you're now a woman.
You're a woman. Swim, bitch. No,
like, you call yourself a woman, but you haven't even dove off a cliff. Silly girl.
Yeah, what? You haven't been yeeted yet.
Yeah.
I will say,
you either live long enough to yeet, or you become
in discussing this, I think I'm changing my mind a little bit. I think I'm going to swap the IL Wise Ones for the Aes Sedai. So I think I'm still going to be Windfinders as number 1, but I think I'm moving Aes Sedai up to number 2.
Okay.
And then IL Wise One, because once again, like,
I'm wearing them down, folks.
As we discuss this again, the Wise Ones, like I said, I like them. I like them. I like the IL. The IL are some of my favorite people in the series, but
it is hard to separate them out, like the non-channeling Wise Ones from the channeling Wise Ones.
Yeah, they
you think about them as an overall
zero
construct,
fucks
culture element. Yeah,
yeah.
Because
the ability to channel plays. No, it's Soralia who can channel, and she can barely channel. And Amis, I don't think can channel.
I don't think she can either, because she's like the super.
Yeah, all the Aes Sedai get freaked out.
She can.
She's
Amis, Bayar, Malaine, Soralia, Adara, Siana, Niaso, Dasheen, Dessine, and Karella can all channel. Yeah, Soralia is famously like super weak.
Do you think she is weaker than Queen Morghese? Or do you think Morghese is weaker?
One power?
And Soralia just is able to do it because, you know, she's just that fucking like hell bent on being awesome.
I mean, I can find out.
No, but again, like, if I wish to be, if I'm an Aiel and I'm born with the spark in me, right? Which means I'm going to touch Saidar no matter what I do. I will eventually become a Wise One, right? Like, this is a all poodles are dogs, but not all dogs are poodles kind of a situation.
The answer is no. Morghese is defined as the minimum known strength.
Okay.
In Saidar channeling, Soralia is above her.
But
what I didn't realize is, one, Andral is an overall power. He's only like 2 levels above Soralia.
Oh.
And Soralia is at 57. Morghese is at 72. Yeah. Moraine, after her deal with the Finn, is at 66. So Moraine, without her Saw-Angreal that she gets,
oh shit,
is like half the power of Soralia, or Soralia, however you say her name. Yeah,
Soralia, whatever.
Yeah, like Moraine after the Finn is fucking reduced.
Yeah, I know they eat not only on her sort of spirit, but they eat on her ability to channel.
Yeah. Like, I knew, like, she's like crazy weak, but she's fucking weak. Like, she ends up being like, she's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's only 6 levels above Morghese. Because Morghese is at 72. Moraine winds up at 66 after she's reduced.
Damn.
But yeah, Soralia is only like 2 levels below Andral.
And Avienda has the spark born in her, right? And that's part of the reason why she is not allowed to refuse the role of a wise one. Is that correct?
I think all female channelers have to become wise ones, but not all wise ones have to be female channelers.
Correct. So yeah, so yeah, that's going to be my third. As far as an organization of channelers, I think it's going to be my third one, because it's not really an organization of channelers. It's an organization of leadership. It is a leadership hierarchy in which channeling exists, and it is not a channeling organization that leads. It is a leadership organization that channels. So I'm going to pop that down to third place. I do still like, I mean, min-maxing is one of those things, you know, and there we can discuss min-maxing all day. But even a min-max character in the Wheel of Time has the ability to learn other skills. So if I'm a Windfinder, especially in the Fourth Age, when the secret has been blown wide open and now everybody knows everything, well, now I, as a Windfinder, can learn weaves from other people, especially if I am part of the foreign exchange student program. Because you can imagine a min-max character with gen eds under their belt would probably be pretty fucking sweet. But that seems to be sort of the statistic of the Wheel of Time channeling. There is not a finite number of experience points that you can put into, you know, your character build over time, unless that finite, you know, number of experience points is, you know, the days you have left to live.
Yeah.
There's also the concept of standing on the shoulders of giants, right? If the generation before you has a really great way of doing something to make it easier, to make it stronger, and because they've learned from, you know, their parents who learned from their parents who learned from their parents, and each generation gets stronger and stronger because they have a better foundational understanding of that, then, you know, is it really min-maxing, or is it, you know, now we have a generational understanding that makes things easier for the upcoming generation? I don't know. I still think I'm going to go Windfinders number one, but I am going to swap for Aes Sedai to be number two, just because, like I said, it is still an organization that is people who channel, and they do very much focus on channeling, and channeling is the sort of, you know, trait that you are required to have in order to join. So yeah, no, I think that there you go. So a little bit of a change.
Yeah, I mean, so it's fair to estimate that there's hundreds of Windfinders, hundreds of wise ones that can channel across the entire thing. We only see 9 wise ones that can channel. We see less named Windfinders that can channel. Well, we also have far less interactions with the Sea Folk than we do with the IU. And we have a lot more interaction with Aes Sedai. So there's roughly 1,000-ish, you know, rounding the number, Aes Sedai, kind of around the start of the series that can, you know, channel, like, you know, give or take that number of around 1,000. So there's clearly enough Windfinders and Wise Ones to rival the overall or intrinsic channeling power of the Aes Sedai. But for me, where it really comes into it is again, as strong as the Windfinders are, as talented as they are, again, they're pigeonholed into a very specific job, and it's not until they see that they could do other things with their gift, because everybody kind of reveres their ability to channel a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And the Windfinders are like, wait, I could do other things with this, like after like meeting like Elaine, and they're like,
that's a thing?
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, let's try that. And it's like, oh, that works, but like they struggle to grasp it. But also the way they do their flows and their weaves with like air and water are completely different to the White Tower, and Elaine learns a lot from it and comes out of it a lot stronger in wind and water weaves than she was before. Which is, you know, the downside of working in an institution that's been doing things the same way for, you know, 2,000 to 3,000 years.
Right.
But for me, like it's like my ranking, I don't think has really changed because again, like for the same reasons I had at the start, you have the Windfinders that are pigeonholed very much into just make the sails billow and move, help the ship move faster. You have the wise ones that can channel, that's not their primary focus. They have a limited pool to work with. A lot of their stuff is going to be focused on small scale combat and defensive stuff, because they definitely seem to prioritize other things like dream walking and the leadership tactics of the wise ones more than channeling, and the IO culture aspects of their station rather than their abilities. Again,
Right.
it's fine. It's nothing wrong with that. It's, the more points you put into one stat, the more, that's points you can't put into another one. Whereas
Right.
the Aes Sedai, they put a lot more of their points straight into channeling and channeling versatility. But they also have a very long-standing tradition of focusing on channeling, which goes beyond the
Yeah.
third age, 3,000 years. It does go all the way back into the second age tradition of
Yeah.
focusing on using the one power for
And one
whatever the case is. So
one could even argue
they
that
have a legacy that's going to
better,
point for them to be stronger
yeah,
in general,
and one
or
could
more
even argue that
versatile.
a better foundational understanding of the one power gives you the ability to learn weaves more easily because you understand Saidar foundationally better than someone who's min-maxed or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's like, it's one of the things, like the wise ones easily, and they start catching up to a lot of the Aes Sedai very quickly because they start training and learning the same way that the Black Tower does, right? In the White Tower, you only channel and use the one power in more of a reverent way. It's almost like a bit of a monastery kind of thing until you become Aes Sedai. Then you can do whatever the fuck you want, kind of. But until then,
Right.
it's got to be under guidance for very, specific purposes, that kind of thing. But in the Black Tower, you use it for everything. If you can't channel enough, fire, you don't get hot meals. You don't get dry clothes. If you can't channel enough this, you don't get this. If you can't channel enough, flows of air or earth, you don't move the stone. Like everything you do is done with the one power, and you become
Right.
very versatile in it because you're doing everything with it. And that's how the Black Tower, that has a significant disadvantage in tradition, history, and numbers, winds up from the course of what, like in the course of one or two books, two or three books, going from being established to showing up and wrecking shit and being the one and only battle defined, like literally described as a meat grinder,
Yeah.
in the books. Because I mean, they have a purpose built, kind of mission, but also it's like you use it for everything and you're gonna go crazy. And when you go crazy, we're gonna give you wine if you're kind, and if not, we're just gonna rip your head off with the power, the kind of shit.
Yeah.
The wise ones kind of, they focus a lot on the don't use the one power for anything you don't need to. Like that's lazy, that's wasteful, that's not the way of Giotto. They make a point of making sure to tell Avienda, like, you can't do any of this with the one power, because even like early on, Egwene is like, I could just dig this hole like super fast with the one power, and Avienda's like, why would you ever do that? Like, that's not the point of it. Like, that's so lazy.
Yeah.
What a wetlander thing to do. Of course you take the easy way out. No, you got to do this with your hands. And Egwene's like, but why? So,
but why?
yeah. I mean, the reasons for them being lower on the list, I think, are absolutely respectable, and they make sense for the culture and the world that, each individual group lives in. But when it comes to the overarching question, like who gets the most out of their female channelers, like it really comes down to how, I guess, you grade that. Like, how
Yeah.
are you grading it based off of like pure overarching power? Because I think if you do that, you still got to give it to the Aes Sedai because they rule in terms of numbers, because they number near 1,000 versus being numbered in the hundreds. If you go on versatility, I think you still have to give it to the Aes Sedai because yeah, it's fragmented amongst the Asha, but they're still the only organization that has a wide berth of versatility amongst their weaves. if you go into raw power, in terms of individuals, I mean, I think you're still probably going to edge out into Aes Sedai. You still have some like really impressive people amongst the Wise One Channelers and Windfinders, but overarching it, again, I cannot see a scenario of grading that doesn't cater specifically to a Windfinder or Wise One Channeler metric that doesn't put the Aes Sedai as number one.
Interesting.
Other than, hey Andrew, which group do you actually like more? Like, I like the Wise Ones a lot more.
Well, and that's kind of, this is kind of where the crux of the conversation comes, right? Anytime you have a conversation with anyone, it's very important to understand the objective of the conversation, the goals, right? That's why people say don't move the goalposts. You know, we're talking about a certain thing. Well, are we? And in this particular case, we're talking about, you know, which who wore it best, who had the best relationship with Saidar, and
which
you know, they're a strong, I will say, like I said, you know, originally I had the Wise Ones as number 2. I downgrade them to number 3. I don't think they have the best relationship with Saidar. I think their relationship with Saidar is,
you know, the metric minimal. I didn't even think to include until now.
Huh.
Of the 3, who's the only group that has Angreal as a stash?
You're not
like,
wrong.
If you throw that into the mix as well, measuring like power and efficacy, even if you just restrict it to the ones that they actually will use because they know what it does.
Damn you, Andrew. Look, shut your fucking mouth, okay? You son of a bitch.
Look, I'm not
Look,
happy.
I changed my answer, okay? There, it's done.
I'm not happy about putting Aes Sedai at the top of any list that's good, all right? Or, you know, a strength list or whatever.
There they are, though. I mean, there they are, though. As you so, you know, articulately put it early, the organization we love to shit on the most, still the best.
Yeah.
And what do we know? What do we know about the best organizations? You know, I mean, nobody gets famous without some haters. And the Aes Sedai have more haters than anybody, so I guess that makes them more relevant.
Bad when they started, like when they're like, you know, when they started off, like they were pretty great.
They've been attacked, like they have been fighting a war that they didn't even know they were fighting for a literal 1,000 years, and the fact that they held on to as much strength as they did while being actively eroded is an impressive feat.
Yeah. And upon founding, like the initial need for the Red Aja to combat the insane male channelers made absolute sense.
It did.
There was just no transition period, right? To go from like this being the biggest threat to survival of humanity to we're at a stasis point where we can do something a little bit different. That never changed. And you know, we're guys, so we have a little bit of a bias for that. And then there was a siege by Otter Hawkwing that they also seem to have never transitioned from that kind of like stonewalliness, referring to like the actual shining walls of Tarvalon, not to a Civil War figure for anybody that just took that the fucking wrong way. So the actual shining walls and being like really hard exterior towards the external world,
right?
Post Otter Hawkwing kind of thing. There's a lot to like really criticize the Aes Sedai, and I do it every chance I get. I think they are one of the worst organizations. I think the organization of the Wise Ones and the Windfinders is leagues better than the Aes Sedai. But when it comes to just like pure efficacy of wearing Saidar better, they just had the advantage at legacy and tradition and information and power. And again, like I just realized, they have a whole fucking vault of Angreal. The Wise Ones don't. They might have like a couple. I mean, yeah, they got Ruidian, but that's not owned by anybody.
And this is why
Windfinders, they own the Bowl of Winds after Winter's Heart. That's part of the trade deal, is that they get to keep the Bowl of Winds.
Well, and this is why
it's pretty big, but also like you got one, versus like, you know, the White Towers, you know, Balefire Rod. And then
this
the
is where
fucking rod that what's her face that Egwene's using during the Sean siege of the White Tower. Yeah, like all that kind of shit that pales.
And this is where I get into it, right? Because once again, when we're talking about relationship with Saidar,
surprise, motherfucker,
the Aiel have access to these objects and actively turn away from them because culture. The Windfinders have zero access to these objects, but have been proven to absolutely be willing to use them should they have access to them, because possessing the Bowl of Winds was one of the number one objectives in their negotiations. And then you've got the White Tower that does possess all of these, and now we've got the problem, right? Now we got the problem because Angreal and Sangreal they'll use all day, every day, and call it a day, right? But Terangreal, now we've got a little bit of trepidation. But one could make the case that the trepidation is well earned, and that they have respect for the power of the Terangreal. It would be no different than, Aes Sedai gatekeeping Terangreal is no different than Wise Ones gatekeeping Tel'aran'rhiod, because they understand. They have understanding of the dangers that other people do not. And then you've got, Egwene and Elaine recklessly barreling into these extremely dangerous scenarios and surviving because plot armor. And you've got mentors from the White Tower and from the Aiel Wise Ones going. So that's. Yeah. I think
it's almost one of those things, like it's unfair to throw Angreal into the mix of consideration.
But it is a consideration.
When you break it down, the Aes Sedai, they have several Saw Angreal amongst their inventory, whether they know it or not. Hundreds of regular Angreal.
Right.
Thousands of Terangreal. They have a bunch of Dream Terangreal, which immediately, other than the knowledge of how to work the Tel'aran'rhiod, negates the ability of the Wise Ones to access Tel'aran'rhiod. So that means, like, with training and use, which we see them do in the books, though they're pompous as shit about it, that's their downfall is their own hubris, because they never read fucking Machiavelli. Because that book, Machiavelli's not second treatise on government, The Prince didn't survive into the Third Age. Which is sad. But had it, maybe they'd be a little bit calmer about their pride. But they use Terangreal for testing for Accepted and Aes Sedai. They have Terangreal for healing, and they have Terangreal for storage. And the knowledge of just all this shit, period. Plus, just the generic Angreal that different sisters just have. Like, I think, like, the initial Dream Terangreal that we see that Nynaeve and Elaine and Egwene run around with, like, isn't it, like, one that, like, a brown sister had and just never really, like, fully told the tower what it was, and that's how they were able to use it, like, the Mobius ring Dream Terangreal. So if you throw those into it, I think it does become, it is an unfairly skewed kind of thing, because, like, now not only do they have, like, the breadth of experience, but now they have the fucking armory kind of.
No,
Whereas
I mean,
the Wise Ones are like, oh yeah, you can go into the city with this storm around it and walk through these crystal columns, and if you have Aiel blood in your ancestry, you may see the past of our bloodline, but otherwise, like, what happens to somebody that doesn't have Aiel ancestry that goes through the crystal columns? Do they just, like, walk and nothing happens because it's coded to only show Aiel history?
Well, once again,
see, like, one flash of one dude who had a cousin that traded with the Aiel and was like, yeah, I got this from the Aiel waste, and then they're done.
Well, once again, when it comes to an organization's relationship to Saidar, I have to change my answer and rank the Aiel dead last. They don't have.
Oh shit! Okay.
Well, that's what I said earlier. But they don't have.
I know you changed your answer. I thought you were just changing your answer to move the Aes Sedai first, not the Aiel dead last.
No. I changed the IL dead last because which now mirrors. Well, wait, what's your? Because I have White Tower, Windfinders, IL.
Oh, so you did move the Aes Sedai to number 1 as well.
I have to.
Yeah. So I have White Tower, IL, and then Windfinder.
So my
I still have the IL as limited as they are. One, we see part of this is we see more IL Wise One channelers than we do Windfinders ever.
Yeah,
but also like the IL show a bigger birth of variety of channeling and adaptation than the Windfinders ever do.
Right.
So some of this is like going to be limited by like what we see them able to do. Yeah. And I mean, as much as like we can say like the IL don't own the ter'angreal or the Windfinders or the Wise Ones themselves don't own like the crystal columns and everything in Ruidian. Yeah. They still have Angreal. We don't ever see the Windfinder. Now the Windfinders have an Angreal. They have a ter'angreal. Like, is it one that can change the weather of the entire world? Yeah, it's a pretty fucking powerful one, but
that's sort of why I find the IL more damning, though. They do have access to all these things. They actively turn away from them. You can't tell me that apprentice Wise Ones go into Ruidian knowing that all of that shit is there, actively turning away from it, and then having some sort of cultural bias of we don't need that. It literally so back in the day, right? A blacksmith, you knew how skilled a blacksmith was by how many by the wide variety of tools they have.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, no, that's what I meant, not the other thing I said.
To me, the IL Wise Ones, they all have, let's say they have a dead blow hammer. Okay, actually, no, I'll take that back. Let's just say they have a hammer. They have a hammer, and they don't appreciate.
They just have a hollow hammer full of sand. Cool.
Which,
all right.
I mean,
they got plenty of sand.
But it has a useful application.
I got no use for a wise one with sand.
But the thing is that every wise one.
Django, there's a good movie reference for you. Got no use for a wise one with sand.
I love Django. That's such a good movie. I need to watch that again.
Anyway,
but the thing that happened, the problem is though, is that they've got a hammer, which is an amazing tool to have, and they just go
because they got all these nails but no hammer.
It's a hammer, whatever. And I don't know that they appreciate how powerful a tool they have, and that's kind of why I have them as a third in my ranking here. So is just
I will say that
their
entire experience of learning their history through the columns and everything is that their solemn oath that they failed was maintaining a unified protection of the items that they were given by the Aes Sedai to protect and move and keep secure. And so if they have such a shame, even in the third age, for feeling like they fail or for having failed that because they forsook their Jin Aiel origin and became the current Aiel, I would think that there would be a fair assumption. And again, obviously this is all my opinion. And I'm not going to lie and say I'm not trying to convince you because I am. That's the nature of discussion.
Yeah.
Is that they would not touch those things out of a sense of I'm trying to preserve as much of promise that I failed as I can. Like it's not mine to touch and use.
And we even do see them upon learning about, the second trip through the columns and upon learning about the destruction of the IL people, we do see them immediately assume that position of
because what happens once
to preserve the remnant of the
what
as early as Rand
and the storm barriers down and Ruidian is now just an open city. In Moraine, the Aes Sedai is directing people to load the carts. The Aiel, they don't fight it, they don't resist it, they aid in it even to load the carts because they're like, this is a continuation of our promise that we broke. Because she is an Aes Sedai.
As early as
They're not like, you can't take these IEL artifacts. They're like, this is and always has been property of the Aes Sedai.
Yeah. Well, and even as early as Rand, revealing himself to be Kara Karn at Al-Kerdal, you have wise ones immediately shifting into, it is time to preserve the remnant of the remnant that will survive the last battle. And they immediately start with that. And it's, once again, that doesn't, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? If you're watching this right now and you made it to this point in the video, what do you think? Which organization has the best sort of relationship with Saidar? Which organization do you think is doing the most for their people using the instrument that is Saidar available to them?
Oh, that also might be a different metric.
See, but once again, that's you got to understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, the metrics are the style of wearing is important. Who as an organization, just in terms of practicality and use, is wearing Saidar the best? Who's making the best use of Saidar? Who is using it? Who's making the best use of Saidar amongst the Aes Sedai, the Windfinders, and the channeling aspect of the IEL Wise One?
Yeah. Leave the comment down below.
I think it changes as well if you add an element of like, okay, well, who's doing the best for using it for their people? And I'm like, I'd put somebody else at number one.
Yep. So it's a fun conversation to have. If you think there's an aspect of this that we missed, leave it in the comments below and let us know. And maybe
below. Come to the Discord.
Jump in again.
Talk about it there.
And we will
email us blacktowerpod@gmail.com. You can find it all at blacktowerpod.com.
Correct.
Our website, where you can find all the ways to contact us. You can find us a link to join the Discord. Hey, if you're listening to this and this is how you're finding out to join the Discord, and you're like, hey, I need to make a Discord account to join your Discord, and you join with a freshly created account, please very quickly send a message or something in the Discord whenever you join it, because if we see an account that is less than a week old join the Discord, you're going to be given about 5, maybe 10 minutes before you're banned, because we've had a fair number of bot accounts join, and generally a newly created Discord account points to it being a bot account that's just there to spam links, pictures, or some crap like that.
And I know there are a lot of other Discord servers out there that are inactive. People don't monitor them. And as a result, there are tons of bots running rampant in there. We do monitor that shit. We absolutely, we are on top of that. We are not afraid to smack someone down with a ban hammer.
We smack your pee-pee with the ban hammer.
There will be no pee-pee for you.
No more pee-pee for you.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, if you are the intergalactic interstellar species watching this for the first time, thank you for sifting through all the Earth noise and finding our humble broadcast. And we hope that you appreciate the TV series. No, not the TV series. I hope you do not appreciate the TV series, because it was not good. The book series, woo! That is The Wheel of Time. And we hope that you, wherever you are, enjoyed this week's dose of taint. From all of us here at the Black Tower, I have been Josh, your Department of Channeling Affairs.
And I've been Andrew, your certified power inspector. Let's just say, check the power, and we can do better. We can do a lot worse. We can do better, though.
There's always room for
Love you all, and we'll see you all again next week for the next episode of Black Tower Podcast. Thank you all again. We love you.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to